welcome to Growing with Griffith. If you are new here, my name is Taylor and I'm an Army spouse. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and supporting me by watching this video. Make sure that if you are interested in content about being a new military spouse or being stationed in Camp Humphreys or Osan Air Base, anywhere in South Korea, I post a lot of vlogs about what to do in South Korea when you're stationed here, and I will start to be posting other vlogs about my life, daily life as a military spouse, tips for moving, for PCS, for all things military related that I can share as a newer spouse with a Christian perspective. If that is something that piques your interest, then I would love for you to hit that subscribe button to follow along for more. I also post almost every single day on my Instagram account with the exact same type of stuff, like military spouse encouragement, military spouse tips, faith life, encouragement in your walk with the Lord, and life in Korea, and soon to be life in Kansas again. If you didn't see my previous moving announcement, go check that out on my Instagram. But without further ado, I wanted to make this video to kind of explain my why. Why have I really focused on getting content out to more and more people and to increase my engagement and my followers and create this YouTube channel and create a website and all this work I've been doing the past 6 months with my Growing with Griffith brand, and just why I'm so passionate about it and just my why. So I am a newer military spouse. I started dating my now husband in March of 2020, and like a typical military marriage relationship, it moved pretty quickly. I'll have to make a video about our story another time, but for now, just know I'm a new spouse, and I was a milso, of course, first for about 10 months, and now I've been married for a little bit over a year. So I'm definitely in a newer space as a military spouse. And when you become a new military spouse, if you are one, or your new girlfriend, or just a new significant other, it can be very overwhelming. And depending on the community that you're finding, the community that you're around, I felt, at least, and I've really found that other people agree with this, that it can be really challenging to find your way. And even if you're not a new military spouse, things are still hard. Things might get easier, or you might be getting used to them. Things might be more commonplace to you. You might not be as surprised by some of the challenges anymore, but it's still really hard. And what I found is that I really didn't know where to start, and I didn't know so much. I never grew up around anyone else in the military. I was not a military brat. I never dated anyone in the military. I didn't have friends in the military. I was just brand new to this lifestyle, and I also said I would never date anyone in the military, yet here we are. I am married to a soldier. So life has changed, and when it did, it was kind of like a culture shock. Military life, if you're in it, you know, it's a whole different world. And not only do you have this new person in your life that has this commitment, you also have the community. You have TRICARE, acronyms, just a whole new way of life, training schedules, PCS, moving, like, whew. There's a lot that comes along with being a new military spouse or a MILSO, a military significant other. So my passion is to create a space for new military relationships, new military marriages, or spouses, girlfriends, whatever the case may be. I want you to know that there's a place for you, and that there are a lot of people that are willing to help you get on your feet. And I'm saying this from a place of coming to South Korea for our first duty station after being married for like 2 months and dating for like 10 months. So it all happened really quickly for me, and I will admit immediately that I am still new at this, and there's so much that I have not gone through already or yet, and there's so much that I don't know. But I've learned so much in the past almost 2 years now. I've met some people who were amazing at doing the things that I'm doing, and they were really encouraging and welcoming, and I got a lot from them. I learned a lot from them. And then I also definitely ran into some people who were less than helpful. Spouses who've been a part of this lifestyle for a long time, who maybe don't really remember what it was like to be a newer military spouse. And that can be really hard. And I am not hating on all of the seasoned spouses. I know I will be one someday. I remember when I first started dating my now husband, and probably the first military spouse I've ever met, someone who didn't know me. I barely knew my boyfriend at the time. Like, we had just started dating, and I was so scared about military life, and I wasn't quite sure like if I wanted this relationship to continue, because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to handle it. And so this was the first military spouse that I was meeting, and I was just like very straight up with her, and I was like, how do you do it? You have 2 kids. You are living the life that I want. And like, how many deployments have you been through? How did you even survive that? Because I can barely say that word without just having a panic attack. How did you go through this life and get to where you are now? And I just asked her about her experiences, and this is a stranger. She doesn't know me at all. She was so open with me, and she told me exactly what she was feeling. She told me how she felt at the beginning. She just opened up so fast to me. And I have found that a lot of military spouses are like this. They are willing to let down their walls and let you in quickly because they know exactly what you've been through or you're about to go through. They know how you are feeling, and they're just amazing. I really feel like military spouses, if you find the right ones, are just beautiful people who can really be your biggest supporters throughout this military life. And then you can also run into the opposite. Of course, like anything in life, I went on to meet more and more while my husband was at that duty station, boyfriend at the time, and most of them were really great. But then when I was coming to South Korea, I joined the spouse pages, and I was kind of just, looking at all the information that I would need to move here. And I was just reading through some of the posts, and I was reaching out to people who were stationed there currently. And some of the people were very mean and really disheartening and discouraging. I was kind of expressing my concerns to some of them, and they were talking about their husband's units here in Korea and their experience being a military spouse. And one of them even told me, as she was talking about the way that Korea is very fast paced and her husband was gone all the time, or something like that, which now that I've been in this situation for a little bit longer, I know that depends on the unit, that depends on the person's job. It's very you can't really rely on that kind of information. Besides the point, this spouse told me, as I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous about Korea and I just want to be with my husband. And she was like, honey, your husband is property of the United States military, and he is never going to be yours ever again, and you are not a priority to him. I was so upset. I was just this new little milso, just like looking for advice, and I was crushed. It confused me. I was like, what are you talking about? My marriage matters, and my opinions and my feelings and all of that really still matters. I understand that my husband has an obligation, but he also has an obligation to me as his wife, and like I know that he cares about that, and I care about my marriage. And I was just looking for support, and I was, you can tell it how it is. Military members have a very tough job and oftentimes an insane schedule, but you don't have to say you're never going to see your husband because he's property of the United States military and you're just never going to be a priority to him. And whoa, it was just a very different approach. And I have since, been a part of the Duty Station's Facebook group, where if you are a military spouse, you will know that they are crazy. There are people on there that go on there and they have way too much time on their hands. They complain, they bully people, they're mean. I say all of this because I want to be like that first military spouse that I met. I want to be an obvious person that a newer military spouse can go to for support, for encouragement, for advice, or just a listening ear. I have really felt so called by God to just open myself up to that opportunity to be a communicator of all of those things. I really enjoy talking with people, and I really enjoy just communicating one-on-one or just building community. I am not selling a service, at least not right now. I am just opening myself up to be there for you if you're a new military spouse. That is all that I want. I want to be a resource. I want to encourage you and let you know that you're not alone. And I also want to validate you and validate your feelings. I think that a lot of times with military spouses, maybe you're going through something for the first time that somebody else has already gone through, and you just need some empathy. You just need someone to listen and tell you that, yeah, this is hard, but you got this. You're strong. You are not alone. Even if I'm a military spouse that's been through 5 deployments and you're over here worrying about your husband being gone for his first training schedule for a month, I can still empathize with you because I know what it feels like to be going through something like that for the first time. There's so much that military spouses go through that people just don't know about. They couldn't possibly understand unless they're in it. I fully believe that, the Lord calls us to things on purpose for a purpose. And also, I know that there is so much strength in community. And so I just want to be a person who is open and willing and ready to help anyone who needs it. Whether it's, hey Taylor, this is my first PCS, so what are some basic things I should know? Or, hey, how do I get an ID card? Or, hey, I am just really struggling with blah, blah, blah. Like anything, military related or not military related. I just want to be a person that, with that being said, I also want to make sure that I'm doing things from a perspective of someone who believes in the Lord and the power that he can have in your life as a military spouse. And whether you have that as a part of your life or not, I do want you to know that you are not alone. Your feelings are totally valid. Whether this is your first time going through something, whether you are starting to date someone in the military, whether you've been married for 5 to 10 years or even more, it's okay to feel your feelings. You didn't know what you were signing up for entirely. And even if you did, going through it, it's still hard. And nobody can tell you otherwise. This life is challenging and we need each other. And so I just want you to know that that's my why. That's why I do what I do. On my website, you will find encouragement. You will find resources. You will find inspiration through devotionals and faith and just tips, basics about military life. And I am going to do everything I can to help you by growing my website and my Instagram and just like having those resources readily available for you. I hope that you can see my heart behind this, and if anything that I said today resonated with you, I would really love to meet you in the comments. Say hi, introduce yourself, hop on my Instagram, do the same thing, follow me, share my page with anyone that you think this would be helpful for, and just know that I am here to talk. I'm here to encourage you and to make you laugh and to help you. I really hope that this video resonated with you, or someone popped in your head while you were watching this video. Maybe it was a military spouse that's helped you in the past. Maybe it's someone who you think could use help like this, or just a friend or a resource. So if that is true, I would encourage you to reach out to that military spouse and thank them for the way that they've helped you along your journey, or for the person who needs it, that you would share this video with them, share my Instagram and website with them. And I just really hope that I can be a light to you and help you. And if there is anything that I can do to help you on your journey of being a military spouse, please meet me in my Instagram DMs or comment on one of my posts, and I will do everything I can to help you. And if there's an answer that I don't know, I probably know somebody who does know the answer, so I can get you connected. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Share this with another military spouse or someone that can really relate, and make sure to like the video. Thank you so much.